Welcome back. You're watching Game Changers, a tech service show whose aim is to bring you up to speed on trending and emerging technologies that are adaptable in and out of our daily interactions. Now, we are still here at the Memorial Park, and joining me is Joel, the CEO of Kenya Network Information Center, KENIC. Maybe you've heard of a domain that goes by the name .ke. Yeah, I know there are quite a lot. And he shall be joining me to talk about how best we can sustain our online presence through the use of domains. Yes, you have done it through social media, but this time round we shall be focusing on how best we can do it via domains. Joel, welcome.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for coming to the KENIC tent. We are very excited to be here today. KENIC is the top country level domain registry in the country. Our work is to register domains and ensure that every Kenyan has a domain name. And that means for us that every Kenyan has an identity, a unique identity, that is affordable, that is personalized to them, personalized to what they do and how they do their work. So we've been around for long. We are licensed by the Communications Authority. And we have a multi-stakeholder sort of setup where we have partners who then sit on our board. Now, what is so important about a domain? It is your first entry into the internet. It is your first level of online presence. It ensures that people know who you are, what you are. So for example, Metropole. Who's Metropole? We want to know more about you. So where do people go? To your website. Now, how do you create a website? The first thing starts with a domain name. After the domain name, then you get services which are web hosting, your email addresses and all those kind of things to ensure that anyone and everyone can be able to know who you are. Now, why is it important to have a .ke? .ke is uniquely Kenyan. So we are those people who subscribe to Buy Kenya, Build Kenya. So it's uniquely Kenyan. And I know a lot of people will say, I have a .com, I have a .biz, but why not a Kenyan domain? If you're a Kenyan business, why not a Kenyan business? So that is the message and the gospel we are trying to spread. That you, as a business person in Kenya, should have a .ke domain, and at the same time, that also gives you presence in global markets, so people understand that the great things that Kenyans do are actually online, and we can actually see them online.
And for long in the industry, how many years are we talking about an anniversary?
Not that long, maybe about 15 years.
About 15 years.
About 15 years.
Yeah, so you've been in the industry for around 15 years. So why the need to work with the Vijana? Why the need to work with the youth?
For us, the youth demographic is very important because the youth are the future of tomorrow. And that's why we are here today, because we want the youth to have a presence. We want the youth to know, other people to know what the youth are doing. Are the youth able to tell their stories? Are the youth able to showcase the great things that they can do? These guys are innovative, they are creative, but where are they giving these stories? Is it in their WhatsApp groups or in their houses? Now we want them to have a presence that they can be able to tell each and every person in the world of what they do. So for us, the youth is where we are going to next. It's the people who 10, 15 years from today will be leading this business when I am not there. So why don't we start giving them that presence now to ensure that at that time, people are able to know. When I came today, when I was invited today, we were talking about online presence. And one of the things I was asked is why? Why should we have an online presence?
Yes.
How do people know you? Yes? Yeah. Apart from your close friends who you meet from time to time, the rest of the people will do a search of who you are. That is what online presence is. Where are you in that space? So as for us, it's key that the youth understand that. They start building their online presence, they start telling their stories to be able to be understood better.
And on that note, why is it important to create an online presence? But let's focus on how best. It is important because you need a name out there. You need online to work for you. Yes. It's business at the end of the day. But how best can one sustain an online presence using domains?
Okay, so I'll be selfish, obviously, being at KENIC.
Yes.
That you must have a Kenyan domain, a .ke domain.
Yeah.
And why is it important that you have a domain name? So people are online. That we will not take for granted. Yes, they're online on WhatsApp, they're online on Facebook, they're online on Instagram and all those. They're online.
Yeah.
But how do you want now to create a serious online presence? You move away from the social free aspects that you have to actually now a domain name that speaks about you. So that's where the domain name infrastructure comes into place. That you're ensuring that now you have a credible space that if someone Googled you, yes, they would be able to say, I know this person based on what I have seen their profile is about. Now, where do we put our information today? Professional information, LinkedIn. Yes?
Yes.
That's good.
It's free.
It's free.
Yes.
Yes. What is the next step that you can take? Now create your own. Right? So you're fighting in a space where there are many other people who have taken up this free service. But now I'm asking you, keep it there, but step up and now create your own. Now with you having a domain name, one, it gives you credibility. If you have a side hustle or it's your main hustle, people want to know who you are. So they want to be able to trust you. How many people have, lack of better word, fake profiles on LinkedIn?
Quite a lot.
Quite
I
a
have
lot.
experienced that.
Yes.
Someone sends me, or is it?
They're going to connect with you, yes.
Yes, they want to connect with me, and then what I come to find out later is that this person is a con. They're sending me iPhone, I don't know what, laptops. They're
They're there
fake
for
people.
business.
Yes.
So you're not too sure what the intention of that person is.
Yeah.
Now get your own domain name. You speak, now in your domain name, it's you speaking about you and what you do. So people are able to now have a link to be able to look up what you're saying. Is it credible? It's you who's posting there. It's you who's keeping that information live. So if you have a domain name, it creates that infrastructure for you to be able to have that credibility. Make sure that people understand who you are and it's unique to you.
And looking at the paid platforms like .ke is one of them, and a lot of people maybe do not want to venture into that because there is free, there is LinkedIn, Facebook is there, Twitter is there, Instagram is there. But what other challenges, besides people wanting to get into the paid platform, what other challenges are you facing and how have you been able to tackle them?
So obviously, if we look at the youth today, cost is always a prohibitive factor. So someone will say, why should I pay while I can get something free?
Exactly.
Everything in life has pain.
Yeah.
Yes? So the pain here is a bit of a financial outlay that makes you safeguard yourself. From your show, I know you guys talk about such things like cyber threats and the rest. When you're on .ke, you eliminate those things. Yes? Because now you're on a platform that is credible. A platform that if you had a challenge, if someone actually went in and tried to sort of like social engineer or try and defraud you, there's a place you can come to, which is KENIC. But now if you had an issue with your LinkedIn, who would you go to? As you mentioned, those people who said they want to sell you stuff, then they sell you stuff that is not credible. Where would you go? You have no recourse. But if you had a domain name and a .ke domain name, you can come to my office. We will check who that person is, who sold that to you, because we have that information at the back end. So we are giving you security, ensuring that people are understanding what it is. But as you said, the challenges are there. One, people really don't understand why a domain name is important, right? Because of the free platforms. Two, there's the cost. But more importantly for me is, why do you want a domain name? What do you want to do with it? Now, if you understand that bit about yourself, then that conversation becomes that much easier. Because then you start saying, for me, because I want to run a business, I want to be credible. I want to be credible online. Then I can do it. We had a young man who just spoke in this session today, who's telling his stories on a platform, right? Now, as KENIC, we take those as things that we want to push and make sure that people are understanding where this conversation is going. So on your own platform, you can tell your stories when you want to tell them, at what time and how, right? So that is why a domain name, I think, is important, and that's the value proposition we're asking Kenyans. Pick up a domain name, create your profile, create your online presence, control your destiny. Yes.
And be consistent on
Consistent,
what you're
yes,
posting.
and what you're doing.
Yeah, and
So-
positive content at the
Exactly.
end of the day.
We
Because
also-
also maybe an employer might be looking for someone credible.
Exactly.
Let's talk about how you have been able to sustain yourselves in the market. How have you been able to do that?
It's not easy. It is not easy. As I said, there's still that need for the understanding of why a domain name is important and why a Kenyan domain name is important. So we have partnered with such people like my Kenya today, my leader today, and we're saying, what are you guys doing? Can we come on board and spend time with you, understand what the challenges the youth are bringing up, and to ensure that we are giving them solutions. So we are moving away from people just complaining and saying, you want a solution? We are here. Today, youth have invested time, a whole day to come here, meaning they want to do something and they want to learn something. So we partner with such like groups to ensure that we are sustaining that conversation and people actually understanding better and better what it means for them. So as a business, our key role is awareness, and that's why we're here. It's awareness. Selling the domain is a plus, but first I want you to be able to understand what the value proposition is and what is happening. I saw some conversations online yesterday and the day before, people saying that the government wants you, the admin of the WhatsApp group, to register with them.
Does that make any sense?
It doesn't make sense to me. I guess someone is feeling that they are being targeted.
Or their pockets maybe are not heavy anymore.
Not exactly. So, but I think for me, it's about responsibility.
Yeah.
I believe we're all responsible.
Yes.
What you post on those platforms, you have to be responsible for it. So I don't think the government should be reining in such a conversation, but they should actually be sensitizing us on the fact that what you post actually means a lot. In my talk today, I actually explained here that when we are looking for employees, and I've talked to a couple of CEOs, you'll bring your CV, yes, but that's not what they look at.
Yeah.
They go online and look at what you do online. So what is your online presence? Is your online presence about bickering, making noise, insulting each other person, or is it about you creating a positive online presence?
How much is a domain going for at the moment? You have an offer, yeah?
Yes. So our recommended price for today is 790 shillings.
790.
And 90 shillings, yes. We usually sell a domain name for about 1,000 or 1,160. But today, yes, for 1 year. And then you renew every year. So it's a renewal basis. So for today, for the people here today, I'm giving them at 790. And I hope people will subscribe to it. And we can start putting them online. We want that growth of domains. We want people to be credible online.
All right, and as we do round up, maybe you can give us a scope, an advice, something unique. What's your scope?
So from KENIC, get a domain name, right? Get a Kenyan domain name, get online, be credible. That is what I look at. From a personal level, dare to dream. The youth of today, dare to dream, dare to challenge yourself. Let's not copy-paste what we see every single day. Be innovative. There are many things we can do. Let's not be a copycat society. Let's be a society that is saying, I've seen a gap, I have a solution, I want to try it. You never know what will come out of that.
Wow.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much, Joel.
Thank you so much. And I hope that we will continue to engage. I hope to be invited to your show. And have more conversations around this. I think there's a lot we can do.
Yes.
So we are happy to be a part of it.
Thank you so much. We are happy to be a part of KENIC as well.
Thank you very much.
You have heard it there from KENIC CEO, Mr. Joel, and to the youth out there, dare to dream. From me, Tabitha Muthoni, and the entire Game Changers team, enjoy the rest of your viewing.